Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? And you're very welcome back to the channel. And today I'm doing my 5 top traditional knives. Now, this is the 5. This has changed dramatically. This has changed to the power of 4 in the last 4 months, say. That's the only original one, from my top 5 over 6 months ago. So there's a reason to do it, because I'm now going to show you a knife that I got today. Bought it from a lovely fella, Sarif, on one of my, known from one of my Facebook groups. I'm not going to give his surname out. If you know him, you know him. Real gentleman, really lovely to do business with. And we were both trading really expensive knives. And I'm talking, the 4-figure type of knives. And we both, thankfully now, we've both seen our knives. We both got them today, and we're both really happy with the swap. So that's just as important, that we're both happy. Because I know I would stand over it. If somebody wasn't happy, I would just swap it back again. It wouldn't be a bother. But we're both happy with what we got. So this is going to be, the title is weird. I know it is, and I haven't even made it up yet. But this is going to be the number 1. So out of my top 5, it's one of them's going to have to go. And I have tried all day, all after, probably about 2 hours I've sat here, and I picked them out. This is a GEC number 86 in natural bone dyed. So it's shaped, but it hasn't been flattened out. It's been just kept the shape that the bone was cut, and that's it. This is a saw cut bone. This is a Cripple Creek. I just adore the Cripple Creek. Only just got this recently. This is my Ashley Harrison, which is it's very plain, but it's an Ashley Harrison Barlow with a large bolster. You've all seen it. I just adore it. I've just carried that for 10 days straight and used it for cutting. It's flipping gorgeous. I love it even more. This one has just grown. I still haven't done the review on it, because I just can't find words to describe how beautiful I think this bone is. It is absolute. It's a Shatton Morgan. Just amazing knife. I love it. And this one here, again, I've just got rid. This is a Dean Richardson Dino pattern, and it blows my mind. Again, I have been using this so regular, probably 2 times, 3 times a week. I've had this in my pocket because it's just stunning, and it's definitely a user. But this one, I would say, will get used very little because it's too expensive, but it will get carried and cut light things, because I just have to carry them. I said I wasn't going to do it, and I've already, that's now a user, that's a user. They don't get heavy use because I have other knives that I can carry with me. I'll always carry 2, maybe 3 knives a day when I'm out. But this one is a absolute, and I'm going to say the word, this is a GRAIL. I've always said my Benchmade 940 was the GRAIL. This is my new GRAIL. My 940 still is, but this is my new GRAIL. This is only the second one I would call a GRAIL. It's that nice, and I'm going to show it to you. But first, would you please give the video a like as you're sitting there now? Subscribe if you want to see some more of this after this video. I do videos of all sorts of knives, all prices, all range, and I love them all. I'm a very passionate knife lover. And if you'd like to leave a wee comment, one that really helps. It means that YouTube will count you rather than not count you, because you've not joined in with the channel. So if you would, a wee small comment, just say, hi, my name's Bob or Bill, and I'm new to the channel, and I'd just love to welcome you here personally. So there we go, there's that. And if you would be ever so kind, another wee thing you could do, which would really help me, is share the video with your friends. Again, if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, or this is maybe your first time here, I'm not, I don't get any money from YouTube whatsoever. I've no AdSense, none of that there. So this is my channel, and I dictate what's going on it. So that's really good. So anyway, look, a lot of waffle here. Anyhow, that's the 5 knives that they're just my nicest, my my really best traditional pocket knives, and I have other ones that could fit in there next week, but these are the ones that at this very present moment are my favourite until this came along. I can't, and you'll the only reason you'll guess what this is in here is if you know the maker, because this is the way his knives come to you, with this very simple sheath. Now I'm sure he does other ones, but this is one of his very simple sheaths that he seems to use quite a lot. I haven't got a whole lot of information on him other than he's Brazilian and he's been making knives since I think it was 1960. So he's been at this a long while. Um, and it is Ricardo Romano, a world-renowned knife maker. Takes about 2 years to get a knife on his books. And look at this. Oh my goodness. It's a trapper. It's in Westinghouse micarta. It's just beyond beautiful. It is beyond beautiful. That rat's tail line in the bolster there. This is just made to the most exacting standards. It's just, honestly, you genuinely, you can't feel anything. It is just, look at this back spring. You'd swear it was all one bit of metal. It is just stunning. See if I can get this in a bit closer, because I just want you to see the workmanship. And this, it is just, look at that. Look at that. Now watch when the knife is opened. It's a trapper pattern, like I said, but look at that. No change. It is absolutely, it's a bit of oil. It is just completely flush in all three positions. Look at the joins here. There's not a gap in them. They're just filled beautifully. All the way round, down the bottom. Beautiful tube lanyard hole. And look at that. Look at the cutoff. It is so precise. This is just workmanship that I've not come across, hand workmanship that is of this huge standard of this amazing standard. It's just, it has just blown me away. So there, it's hand rub satin. Look at that hand rub. You can barely distinguish it. It is so fine and so beautifully done. There's no little, tiny even mistakes on it. It is just immaculate. And his name, look at that. I love the way he's coloured in the letters there, just the odd couple of letters. So that's Romano. It's just, honestly, I get excited about things, and I know I get sort of childlike at times, but the grind, it is so fine down here. Not ultra fine, but it is fine. It seems to have a slight hollow to it. The grind lines are, that's how thin it is. You can hardly see them, but look at them. It is, it's just, and maybe you can understand why I mightn't want to use this a whole lot. I do want to use it and carry it though. It's a big knife too. It is, let me just get this up here. Closed, it will be about 4 1/4, maybe just, I say, yeah, about 4 1/4 closed, and you have a cutting edge of 3 inches, just under 3 inches actually at the cutting edge. So it's UK legal. It's about 3 1/2. No, it's not. It's about 3 1/4 back to the bolster. But just, oh, it's just, look at that swedge. Does that not get you excited? That's a sexy swedge. You know what I'm like for my swedges, but look, I just love this detail. Look how square that is. Just look how square as it is coming off the swedge and down to a reasonably thin point. It's not ultra thin, so I'm not going to be worried. I'm not going to poke this, let's be honest. I'm just not going to poke this. Let me bring this back out again. Oh, wrong way. Oh, come on. There we go. Look at that. And look at that shield. There is no, I should have kept that up. There is no flaw in that shield. That is just in there as perfect as you could get it. You couldn't get it any more perfect. I love the shape of the shield. It is just beautiful. Beautiful. I'm in flipping love. I'm not even really a trapper person, but oh, this in hand, it's a full of a large hand, and I get an amazingly good grip on it. It's just beautiful. I could sneak up there if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I don't want to. It's just exactly what it should be. This is honestly the feel of this Westinghouse micarta. It really is. It nearly replicates bone, but it actually feels a bit warmer. It definitely feels. It just feels beautiful. But there's not. You wouldn't. This is completely smooth. The shape of the knife makes it feel quite comfortable in my hand, but for slicing a bit of paper, that's as much power as I'll ever need. And but oh, come on. So this is, can you understand why this is my grail? And if you can't, maybe one day you will, because I never thought I would own a knife by Romano. And I've only heard of him. I've never even investigated him because it's not something that was in my future, I thought. But honestly, let me just tell you, this has completely. Do you know what people say? People say to you, right? Uh, buying expensive, does it get you a better knife? And the answer is, after a certain price, no. And we know what that certain price is in our own head. To me, it's around the £300. Once you go above that, it's definitely to do with the maker and his workmanship rather than what you get from the knife. What I can get from the knife at this price is just one man's obsession to be this good at his trade. And that is honestly it. You're paying for that person's obsession, that he can make something that's so valuable that people are going to pay four figures for a penknife. Now, to me, that's great. There's people that pay five figures and more for penknives, but for me, to pay four figures for a penknife is just beyond anything I could have expected 7 years ago when I joined YouTube. But Ganzo was my favourite knife. Do you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. I still have my Ganzos, as you know. I still like them. They're still great knives. But this, to have this in my hand, has genuinely floored me. It's just perfection. It's perfection. It is absolutely perfection. I adore it. And I don't even know what the blade steel, but other ones in this material, when he was obviously making these, he had some natives in that. He was using CPM 154. And I think that's what this would have been made of. On the investigations that I've done so far, because they came out at the same time with this Westinghouse micarta, it's all very similar. And, oh, so there you go. What I want you to do is, and I won't probably stick to it, but I would love to know which knife would you remove from my top five. So as the GEC, the Cripple Creek, the Ashley Harrison, the Shatton Morgan, and the Dean Robertson. Which one would you take away to put this in there? Because this is going in there, but I have to make, if I'm going to do my top fives, they have to be right. They have to be what it is at the time. So what would you take out of there? Knowing me as you do, and if you don't know me, it doesn't matter. What would you do? What would you take out? Because I know for a fact there's at least two or three I could definitely pick that's going to stay in there. And there's maybe one or two that I could take out. But I want to know what you would take out. What would be your choice to remove and place this in here? The other thing is, I'm not going to use that sheath. I'm going to be using my Richter knife sheath because it fits it. It's a fairly big knife, it's a fairly thick knife. Listen to that. Oh God, I've got to do that again. Please don't be red blade wrap. I just have to check. Oh, it's perfect. It is perfect. Oh man, and it works on a kick, so it's a proper job. Proper job. But look at that in the hand. It's just such a beautiful big knife. So I'm going to use this because I like the blue and the yellow. it seems to go nice. And I haven't been carrying my 71 recently, which I sort of got this for, or my big Jack Wolf knife. So I haven't been carrying it in this slip. So I'm going to now designate this slip to it. Sits out a wee bit proud at the top, but it means that I can get a good grip off it and get it out. This will never be coming out in a hurry. This is not your Slurpee fighter on a Saturday night. This is just, oh. So that's the slip that's going to be designated for it. I think it really does it justice. It's a beautiful slip from Richter over there in the US of A. Makes a lovely product. Please go check him out. Bought and paid for this from Richter. This is not a gift from him. I'm actually shouting him out because he's flipping good. Best way to shout somebody out, isn't it? So there you go. My top 5, but this has to go in there. Which would you pick? Take care. Thank you very much. You'll see this much more on my channel, I'm afraid. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.